Did you read what it says?
I'm stunned. It says 51% African, 40% European, and 9% Asian.
A journalist who works for a website for African Americans called The Root said she's not surprised by the surge in DNA testing being done.
People can now say, my family's from West Africa. You know, my family's from Cameroon. And I think that's what's important, is that people now have the same sense of identity that other Americans have.
DNA tests show 90% of the 44 million African Americans have ancestors who were slaves. They know little about the continent, despite the fact that a little or a lot of African blood runs through their veins.
People in the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo are getting more and more worried about their fate, while in the football fraternity, it is a race against time for Sao Paulo's yet-to-be-completed World Cup stadium. But the bone of contention is about the collusion sums of money being spent on the stadium, while hundreds live in abject poverty. We have more in this report.
In Sao Paulo, intense activity is underway to put the finishing touches to the structure which will host the opening match of the World Cup Games on June 12. It took $450 million to build. On the road just outside, a banner that reads, "For dignified housing, put an end to evictions," leads to another Brazilian reality. Homeless families are occupying a patch of land here. Their aim, raising awareness about the lack of funds being invested in housing.
It's disgraceful to the population in Itaquera. They'll spend many millions, and look at how the people are living here. There isn't really any water, no decent bathrooms. It's terrible. Makes me sad.
The occupation, organized by the landless workers movement, started with a handful of families, but people poured in, and within a week the number of families rose to 2,500. The improvised community had to begin setting up bathrooms, showers and kitchens to help meet the residents' needs. The movement hopes the settlement's proximity to the stadium will boost awareness about the plight of millions living in total poverty and without proper housing.
We're going to stay here until we manage to negotiate housing. Our strategy is to fight with protest and pressuring the authorities to call attention to the housing deficit in the city and the need to build public housing.
An estimated 150,000 families were evicted or relocated to make place for World Cup installations across Brazil. All this is too much sacrifice, these families are saying, even for a country where football is a national passion.
And before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. National food sufficiency and an end to the importation of rice by 2016 topped the agenda in Banjul as the President's 2014 dialogue with the People's Tour comes to an end. As the International Roots Homecoming Festival opens in the Gambia, DNA business is making huge returns in the United States as more and more African Americans pay colossal sums of money in pursuit of their identity. Defending security tactics and strategies, the Nigerian High Commission to the Gambia has reacted to criticism that the government in Abuja is unable to defeat Boko Haram. And landless and homeless Brazilians have vented their spleen against the construction of a World Cup stadium at a tune of a staggering $450 million. Well, that was all in this edition of the news. From me, Winifred Nicole Hodibat, and the rest of the team, thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do stay tuned and enjoy a range of interesting programs.
Minjabi golema, ya jame minjabi golema. Minjabi golema, ya jame minjabi golema. Uma são possíveis. Minjabi golema, kojame Musa minjabi golema. Ayo jame Musa minjabi golema, ya jame minjabi golema. Kosara walu galaba minjabi golema, jame Musa minjabi golema.
Jarama, Fula Gaulo Cultural Group representing the Upper River region. Beautiful, graceful in their white attire. With their beautiful drums made from the gourd plant. Yes, we now welcome the very famous and relentless Kabekel Cultural Group. Kabekel.
African
Ladies and gentlemen, another dance in honor of Kanyaleng women. Kanyaleng women, as I said before, are very powerful and they dominate the center stage of cultural and traditional life in the Gambia. The lead dancer is holding, yes, another cultural, very ritual stuff called Punyalangum. Punyalangum. It is the stuff that the Kanyaleng lady takes to her husband on her wedding night. Punyalangum. That's the name of that stuff which the lead dancer is holding in her right hand.